So we're here today, we're harvesting some dandelion flowers, which I've just started a nice bag full. I'm not taking the leaves just yet because they're not large enough, but the flowers we can definitely cook with, believe it or not. We're going to take them back to the kitchen and see what we can create. So I'm going to harvest just the head of the flower. Very easy to do. You stick your 2 fingers underneath the flower head, pull up, and you get the head of the flower. You can harvest quite a lot in a short amount of time. What's going to happen is they'll close up on you. They're not the type of flower that actually stays beautiful. So it'll close up, but that doesn't matter because the taste is still going to be really good.
So, this is Paul Tappenden.
And Lisa Caccamise.
And we're Suburban Foragers. And as is our usual habit, we've been out foraging. And today, we gathered some ramps, because they're in season right now. And we gathered dandelion heads, because there's lots of those around.
Lots.
Yeah, so why not? And we're going to make a couple of dishes using these today. I can't tell you what we're going to make, because Lisa's the one going to make them, and she's going to surprise me as much as she's going to surprise you. So anyway, so let's get on with it.
Yeah. Well, the first thing we're going to do is dandelion flowers. Everywhere. They grow everywhere. We harvested the heads today because the leaves are still a little too small to work with. But, you know, most people when they think of eating dandelions, they think of eating the green. But little do you know, or did you know until this video today, that you can actually eat the flowers too. They're edible. And you want to make sure that your source where you harvest them from has not been sprayed with any kind of toxins or, you know, best you can try to harvest them inside rather than roadside so that you don't get, you know, dog pee and stuff on them. You want them as clean as possible. And once you've harvested them, you bring them home. And the part that you want to use is the inner flower, not the green, because the green is bitter. So you want to kind of do your best to gingerly pick out the yellow flowers and leave the green behind. The easiest way to remove the inner flower petals from the bitter part of the dandelion, which is the stem part, is just to grasp the stem with your fingers and have a quite firm hold on it. And you just pull the flower out. You want to try to do it without getting any greenery. And ideally, your bowl should look like this with very little green in there. If there's bits of green, you can pick them out. So today I decided that the dandelion flowers, the first thing I think of is, well, sunshine, of course, in spring and summer. But I think it would pair well, eating-wise, to sweeter than savory dishes. So I'm thinking cookies. We're going to do dandelion cookies. And as you just saw, we removed all of the flowers from the stem. So that's what's going to go into the batter. And also topped as a garnish. So the first thing we want to do is we want to cream together a 1/2 cup of, I'm using coconut oil. And I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of dandelion syrup. Yes. And we're going to add 2 eggs. And then I'm going to whisk this up. And then we'll add our dry ingredients. To this we're going to add a full cup of flour. You can use any flour. You can use spelt flour, sprouted flour, rice flour, whatever's your preference. You mix that in. Then I'm going to add a cup of oats. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. I actually like a lot of vanilla, but I don't want to overpower the dandelions, so we're just going to add a teaspoon. And your last ingredient is about a half cup of your dandelion flowers. Again, if you see any green bits, take them out. Sometimes the dough is a little bit too thin. Just add a little flour. And if it's too thick, then you can add a little more of the dandelion syrup. But either way, you want a consistency where it's like drop cookies. This is about a good consistency, where they hold to the fork. So we have our oven set to 375, which is a great temperature for cookies. And I've lined 2 baking pans with parchment paper. And you just take your batter, and it's a drop cookie, so you're just going to put dropfuls. The batter smells really, really good. So the cookies are just about ready to go into the oven. What I'm going to do is top them with a little raw sugar and some more dandelion petals. Just mix the two together. This sugar is nice because it'll hold its texture. When you bite into it, you'll get that crunch and sweetness. And the dandelion flowers will also hold their flavor. So they're all ready. Into the oven they go. So the cookies will take about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll check them after 10 minutes just to be sure. So it's been about 12 minutes, and I'm going to take the cookies out of the oven. They won't look like they're done on top. And they don't spread very much. But if you pick one up and look at the bottom, you'll see it's got a nice brown to it. So they're done.
So this is one of the first desserts that we've ever put onto video, and it's something we've actually made up, and we have never tasted it. So this is an experimentation for us.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, I'm not going to wait around any longer. Here we go.
Oh, I got a woodland violet on mine.
Oh, lucky you.
Oh. Mm-hmm. It could be a little sweeter.
I'm appreciating the fact that it isn't all that sweet, because I get to enjoy the flavours rather than the sugar.
Exactly. The sugar on top is the sweetness that comes at the end, on your tongue, just at the end, and the crunch.
These remind me of scones.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, I think, like maybe putting some butter on them or something would be a nice touch.
Why not? The only thing in them is the coconut oil.
Yep.
You could always add honey if you feel that they're not sweet enough. I actually prefer them. I think they're
No, I like them. I like scones, so they remind me very much of scones.
So we'll call them dandelion scone cookies.
Well, another success.
Cheers.
Yes.